All right, so today we are picking up with the events of the French Revolution. Let's jump right on into it. So on May 5th, 1789, there was a meeting of the Estates General. Now, at this point in time, there have been bread riots. Folks have claimed major abuse of power by the monarchy, and eventually the aristocracy called for the Estates General to meet. At this meeting, though, where all of the estates were supposedly represented equally, however, when the vote came to abolish the taxes on the first and second estates, of course, the third estate were the only ones voting yay for that. This makes the third estate angry. And as you'll remember, they were the poorest ones, but the ones who were paying the most taxes then. So the third estate ends up getting locked out of the meeting with the first and second estates, and were ordered by Louis XVI to disband. So on June 20th, 1789, they head to an indoor tennis court. Remember that they're meeting at the Palace of Versailles, where they had indoor tennis courts. So they meet on this indoor tennis court, and they call themselves the National Assembly. They took an oath or made a promise that they would meet until they had come up with a brand new constitution. So this completely freaks out Louis XVI. So at first, it seems as though it was okay with the National Assembly, and he legalized it. Louis XVI said, okay, fine, you can be the National Assembly. Soon, though, he became afraid of the National Assembly, and he sent troops to Paris and to Versailles. The Third Estate knew that Louis XVI had sent troops, and so they feared that he was going to use the troops to force the National Assembly out. Now, people in Paris had gotten word of what was going on. And on July 14th, 1789, the Parisians attacked the Bastille. Now, the Bastille was a medieval fortress. It was a political prison and an armory. Now, an armory is where weapons are stored. So the crowd attacked the Bastille, released the very few, I think there were 7 to be exact, political prisoners that were being held there. And then they proceeded to destroy the Bastille by hand. They took the building down by hand. This was no easy task. There were 8 watchtowers. Each of those watchtowers were 100 feet high. It had a moat that was more than 80 feet wide, and a moat, if you don't already know, is a water barrier around a castle. So destroying this building by hand was certainly not an easy task. So remember the old regime where we had the first estate, the second estate, and the third estate. Those 3 estates, now that is over. The old regime is gone. The old government is gone. The Catholic Church was reformed, and the government is now in charge of the church. So posted on Schoology, there is a copy of the Declaration of Rights of Man and the Citizen. And here's what I want you to do, and this counts as a 5-point homework grade. I want you to press pause and read the declaration. It's not very long. It shouldn't take you too long to read. As you read, please take a minute to jot down what human rights and what political rights you see listed. Take as long as you need to read it. I do expect you to have at least 2 things written down in both of the top boxes of your notes. So let me grab a copy real quick, and I will show you exactly what I am talking about. Okay, so let me jump right in for a second here. So in your notes, where we are talking about on this page, the Declaration of Rights of Man. You should have at least 2 things written down in this box when you're done reading the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. Okay? All right, so go ahead and press pause. Do that now, and I'll be here waiting for you when you come back. All right, welcome back. So let's go over it. So we're going to start with the human rights, and there were 4 of them that I really want to make sure you get. So make sure you write small enough to get them all in there. The first one is freedom of speech. The second is freedom of press, meaning the freedom to print whatever you want in newspapers, brochures, etc. The third one is freedom of religion. Remember Voltaire? His whole thing was freedom of religion, also freedom from religion. Okay, so either way, it's viewed as a human right. You have the right to be religious, or you have the right to not be religious as well. The fourth one, and this is pretty important too, is that a person is innocent until proven guilty. Okay, so those are your basic human rights that I want to make sure you get from the Declaration of Rights of Man and the Citizen. Let's talk about the political rights. There were two that you should have picked up on. The first is that all men have equal rights to political offices. So it no longer matters how rich or poor a person was, they had the right to run for political office if they wanted. The second was that taxes should be equitably distributed amongst all citizens. No longer should the nobles and the clergy get away with not paying taxes. All citizens are now expected to pay taxes. So the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen also makes two more important statements. The first is that laws can prohibit actions that are hurtful to society, and the second is that actions which injure other people's natural rights, those actions are prohibited. So anything that would prohibit somebody from being able to pursue life, liberty, property, those things are forbidden. You can't do those anymore. Okay. All right. So let's recap a little bit here. Okay. You know that the Estates General met, the Third Estate got locked out, and they decided to meet until they came up with a new constitution. So remember, that's called the tennis court oath, where they promised to meet until they had a new constitution. That constitution was the Constitution of 1791. And there are three things I want to make sure you know about the Constitution. Okay. Number one, it limited the authority of the king, the authority and the power of the king. Number two, whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself there, sorry. Number two, it divided the government into three branches. And number three, it is full of enlightened ideas. So how is it that Louis XVI reacts to this constitution? Well, he very reluctantly agrees to it. What king would really want to have had his power limited? He ends up conspiring with the nobles who support him at the beginning of the revolution, but had fled France, to overthrow the National Assembly. So remember that the National Assembly is, this is what the former Third Estate, they're calling themselves, okay? So Louis XVI, he tried to escape, but he was found, he was arrested, and sent back to Paris. So now no one trusted him. The nobles didn't, the clergy didn't, of course the people, the general population didn't either. So things were not looking so great for old Louis. But things were not looking so great with the National Assembly either. There was division amongst them. They were broken into three groups: the conservatives, the radicals, and the moderates. Now, the conservatives thought that the revolution had gone far enough, and that was that it was time to end the revolution and to continue on with life. The radicals, however, wanted more change. And so that leaves the moderates literally in the middle, who agreed with the conservatives on some issues, but then they agreed with the radicals on other issues. So there actually was a seating chart that they used during their meetings, and I want you to fill that in your notes. So on the left side were the radicals. The moderates were in the middle, and the conservatives were on the right. The National Assembly ends because it was just too weak and there was no support from the church either. So it can be compared to the Articles of Confederation of the United States, because this truly was France's first attempt at a government that wasn't a monarchy but was too weak and ended up failing. Okay, so that was a ton of information. Thanks for hanging in there with me and getting that all in your notes. If you need to go back and rewind or rewatch anything, just remember that you need to make sure you answer all of the questions at the end of the video. Take a minute and let all of this sink in. Don't just rush and write your summary. You know, I always give you time in class to do that. So make sure you take your time. Let this sink in, really think about it. Think about the implications that this could have for France, okay? Next lecture, we are going to be looking at the French Republic, the Reign of Terror. Heads are going to roll, by the way. And what outcomes came about as a result of the French Revolution. So I'll see you then.